Looking for wrestling content? Well, we are Wrestling Provides Everything Pro Wrestling. The best one, Donnie, Danny Hawkins, and the Load Rager Ben are wrestling marks like you who love this sport. We Are Wrestling has it all when it comes to wrestling content. We have different podcasts, vlogs, reactions, full wrestling matches, live pay-per-view watch-alongs, interviews, predictions, and so much more. Only on We Are Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and become a We Are
abrupt emergency. We Are Wrestling.
been a fan of AEW since day one.
Did you ever think that we'd be, talking about a topic like this?
We Are Wrestling Extras!
What is up? We are wrestling maniacs out there worldwide. We're live on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Dottie, here with.
What is going on, everybody? Danny Hawkins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling, man. We got the crew back together for this very special, monumental moment. And to be honest, man, it's not a moment that I really ever expected or ever wanted to happen. But here the fuck we are, man. Ben, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? We Are Wrestling Maniacs. It's a very somber live edition of the podcast, extra, if you will. Yeah, just like Danny said, it's a moment that we never thought we'd be at. We never thought that we'd be talking about this soon. Years, what felt like years ahead of time. If you guys caught the watch along with me and Dan, it got pretty emotional there a couple times. It was for something that was kind of done and planned in a day. It felt like a pretty special show. Everybody really went to work tonight. And yeah, the opening was beautiful. The end was beautiful. LA Knight's promo, beautiful. All right, I'm not going to get carried away. Don, take it away. Take it away,
So
man.
I just want to put this out there to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that do tune in to my reactions that I normally do for Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, Friday Night SmackDown, and AEW Collision. I decided to take the night off from doing SmackDown reactions. I wanted to, enjoy this tribute show as a fan, and I wanted to just sit back and reflect, really take the time, and I want to, honor Bray Wyatt in this episode. We're going to, we have a tribute video that I put together earlier today, and we also have, some other We Are Wrestling, maniacs that, join us with the streams and, they do content with us. And they had some messages that they wanted to send, to Bray Wyatt as well. So we're going to share those. And we're going to talk about some of our favorite matches, favorite moments. And with this entire stream, we want to honor Windham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. We're big fans of him, one of the most creative minds in this business. But before we dive into all that, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because of course you already know the grind is real. And we do have a new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast where Ben and we talk about some AEW, WWE news coming out tomorrow. And on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, AEW All In, the biggest the biggest pay-per-view in All Elite Wrestling history. All three of us are going to be watching it. Ben is finally popping his AEW cherry this Sunday. But now, man, this is completely shocking. This entire thing. Like, I was taking a nap from, I just got done after a long day of work, taking a nap, got done doing the podcast with Ben, and then I wake up. I have this weird feeling in my stomach. And then 5 seconds later, I get a call from Danny. And man, complete shock. So sad.
Yeah, I was just watching YouTube videos, and I've been on an NF kick. Who, he's a Christian rapper or whatever. So I've been on a kick listening to his music, and I was watching a bunch of like live performance videos of him. And then I look over at the search bar, like the recommended video feed, and a live stream, showed up, and it said Bray Wyatt passed away. And I was like, what the? I had to take a second glance. And then I had to look down at the name, and it said Fightful Wrestling. And I was like, fuck, bro. And I immediately called. I called both of you. Donnie, you didn't answer. Ben did. And I was like, bro, Bray Wyatt passed away. And he's like, what the fuck? Or he said, no, the fuck he didn't.
Yeah, dude. It was like a moment of just sheer denial. Like,
I'm not going to lie. I didn't believe it at first.
Yeah, I thought you were just fucking with me, or you read something on the fucking Onion or some shit, dude. Like that just did not register at all at first, and it just, even after seeing the actual like headlines and the fucking, the reports everywhere coming out, dude, like I just lost my mind for a second. I just got quiet, and I just proceeded to have a night where I quote unquote lived my best life, but dude, I was fucking hurting. But like today, now specifically, like watching the tribute show tonight, really,
oh my goodness, man,
it really hit me
beautiful
then.
Tribute
Like,
video
yeah,
WWE put together, not only for him but like Terry Funk as well.
Yeah, dude, and that's
man, it's just sad. Two legends in this business.
Yeah, man, it's fucking John Elite for life, 45 for life. At first, I was expecting Triple H's account was hacked. Yeah, dude, denial in its finest, man. That shit fucking. I still haven't really accepted it, but I know over the next few days I will. And I already kind of got my first glance of it, watching the tribute show tonight. Yeah, man, it's not fucking fair. The dude was the next Undertaker.
36 years old, man.
36. That's literally 11 years older than me, 3 years older than Dan.
I have heard a lot of people online saying like, oh, it sucks Bray Wyatt passed away, but it's, this is overshadowing, Terry Funk. Not many people are talking about him, and completely different.
Why do pro wrestling fans have to make this something?
Oh my god,
are
dude,
you
I
fucking
hate that
serious?
shit. Like, just let people mourn in general, bro. Just let people fucking mourn their loved one. Like, they just lost a father, they lost a brother, like they lost a son. Like, let people just mourn them. Like, don't make this a dick measuring contest.
Terry Funk, he lived his entire life, man.
Same.
79 years old. Not many people make it to that age. You know what I mean? So his situation and Bray Wyatt's situation are like, you couldn't get any more different.
Absolutely, Alex.
You know what I mean?
Like Bray I said, Wyatt, the dude was arguably the next
career,
Undertaker.
He was in the prime of his career, just came back. Had a weird ass match with LA Knight, but nonetheless, like, I do feel like
it delivered though. Like we were talking about on the live stream, that match was phenomenal. If you really look at it at a creative standpoint, it had Bray all over it. Both LA Knight and him are both star athletes that can really fucking go in a ring, and they put on a show that night, man. And it was great seeing what could have been in the ring. It was great seeing him back, and it hurts, and I'm fucking angry about it that we were weeks away from his imminent return. It was looking positive, and all it takes is one wrong thing to go wrong, and here we are. And I can't fucking wrap my head around it. He was the next big thing, and he was a big thing for a while. His fucking era between 2013 and 2015 was a powerhouse era. Like,
Eater of Worlds was my all-time favorite character. Bray Wyatt did.
There will be nothing like it, man. And I hate it. Again, I just said, he's he was supposed to be the next Undertaker, and he had he had all the experience in the world to fucking do it all. And I hate that we were robbed from it. I hate that his family was robbed from it. I hate that his fucking friends were robbed from it.
That's the biggest thing, man, that
Damn.
really breaks my heart about this whole passing is, his wife JoJo and, his beautiful children, man. That's the part that,
They just had
really
another
breaks my
kid.
heart.
His youngest daughter, I think, is a year and a half.
Yeah, Angelo. I completely agree with you. This is like when Eddie Guerrero passed away young too, and his life was taken from him, from just like Bray, and it sucks. Yeah, and I actually mentioned that this shook me to the core the same way that Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero both passed away, because they were both out of the blue. Both were also still current, running on the roster. They were still active wrestlers. And we just saw them weeks to, days prior, and it's fucking unfortunate. And I'm hating seeing all of these
Angelo.
fucking icons
Absolutely,
drop
man.
like flies for whatever reason, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
That's something I do want to say here on, the Bray Wyatt tribute before we dive into our favorite
Yeah, John.
moments and stuff.
It is. It is just as unfortunate and as impactful as Brody's, 100%. But the one thing, like I said, I'll take away from this is that him and Brody are kicking it right now. So
Man, I
that
want
was
to
his best friend.
send, and we are wrestling. We want to send our love. We want to send our condolences, to the entire wrestling
Windtenders.
world, but
And the
especially, his friends, especially, his wife, his brother, his sister, his father, and, just everybody that's, impacted by this. This is tragic.
I also want to mention that
The world got
you
robbed
know,
yesterday.
everybody knows how I
Absolutely.
feel about WWE, but this is totally separate. We do encourage you guys to go on WWE Shop, buy all the Bray Wyatt merch that you guys want. WWE has stated that all 100% of the proceeds go towards Bray Wyatt's family, his wife, and his children. So go pick up a shirt, pick up a hoodie, pick up a mask, whatever it is. All the money goes to his family. Because
I think
he has small
100%.
WWE,
kids.
man, when it comes to, unfortunate things, always such a class act.
I gotta
Yep.
say, if there's a
Well, most of the
positive to
time.
look at this, if there's one positive to look at, not only is he one of the highest merch sellers in WWE, because of this, his merch is going to be fucking flying out the fucking shop. Flying.
He
and
has
his
one of the
family's going
most
to be financially
loyal
set.
fan bases out of any professional wrestler. WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, Impact Wrestling, Independence. Bray Wyatt, man, the
100% Alex.
Fireflies, they are so passionate. They are so strong. And I, know firsthand because around the time when Bray Wyatt, came back into WWE, I joined a Facebook group with, one of my older co-hosts on here. We're not going to mention him. The Firefly Funhouse group. And this was, a fan, group of a bunch of Bray Wyatt diehard fans. And man, I've been a part of that, group since 2019. And through the highs, through the lows, they've all had Bray Wyatt's back through it all.
Yes, Angel, we did see the end of the
Incredible
tribute.
fan base.
It was fucking beautiful, and LA Knight really carried his own, and it made it for such a beautiful last match. And his promo, my God, like I want to talk about that real quick if you guys don't mind. Like LA Knight's
Talk about it,
promo
man.
before the match. We already knew that he talked like The Rock, and the dude was born with a mic in his hands, basically, and he obviously knows how to work a crowd. But to see Sean and not LA Knight for a second there, it was nice to kind of break that fourth wall and to see him pay tribute to one of the greats. It was nice seeing a face moment from someone who's such a great heel and such a good anti-hero. It was good. This felt like as impactful as again, an Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit. Like it feels big. Like fuck, dude, it's not fair. It's not fair.
It's really not.
I thank God for LA Knight 100%, because not only did he make that match feel special, the promo again was great, but it also helps that he was Bray Wyatt's final opponent on live, live TV. And in such, again, a creative match. Was it perfect? No, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a different kind of match. And for, a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, I didn't see it getting any better than that. And honestly, I was kind of surprised with how good it was. So again, beautiful tribute, beautiful end.
Man, and that's the thing, like, they did a great job, with this tribute show, and
I felt that, Heyman.
The tribute, video that WWE put together, that had me,
Bro, that shit fucking
hit me in my
broke
feels, man.
That shit almost broke me, man. Legit.
Oh yeah, I broke.
But before we start talking about some of our favorite moments and stuff for Bray Wyatt, we do have a tribute video that I put together for the We Are Wrestling Maniacs and everybody that loved Bray Wyatt. And with this tribute video, I felt like it wouldn't be right if we didn't do a video for him. So
what's up, Kenneth?
Hope you guys enjoy.
We're here. And I wouldn't want to be that guy. I wouldn't want to be that guy, that first guy that has to get in the ring with me, man. I wouldn't want to be you.
Early
I'm going to take
fucking
CW
Bray
days,
Wyatt.
I'm watching you burn, man.
Your mind around the concept of what's really, truly going on here.
I got the whole damn world in my hands.
There are several different types of men in this world. There are men who dream and never make it off their couch.
Time right now, this very second, I can truly say that I have the whole damn world in my hand. I would like to welcome you all to the era of Wyatt.
There are men who dream and fail. And then there are men who dream and change the landscape of this world.
My sidekick, Stevie.
I'll see you in there.
All right.
Oh, he remembered your name, bro.
Got to be Bray Wyatt.
People like Bray Wyatt.
Such good shit.
I lost two people who were very, very close to me. And I got to a point where I thought that everything that I'd ever done here or otherwise, I thought it was all meaningless. Nothing I ever did has mattered to anyone. And I was wrong. Is that I can sit here right now today and I can look all of you in the eyes and I can say that you were there when I was weak, when I was vulnerable, when I was down. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we lost Danny, but man, beautiful tribute, man. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of that footage that was playing. So I just, that almost got me again.
So, when I was putting this tribute video together for Bray Wyatt, one thing I wanted to do was acknowledge his NXT FCW run. Because a lot of people, know Bray Wyatt for, the Eater of Worlds, his main roster run, and, pretty much bad booking. So I wanted to go back, and I wanted to go back into those earlier days because for me, I, got used to Bray Wyatt, man, going all the way back to FCW. I remember him, teaming with his brother, Bo Dallas, being the FCW tag team champions back.
So can you pull up the comment from John Elite for Life real quick? It says it sucks we'll never see Bray's current gimmick at full potential. So I had actually mentioned to Danny on the watch along for SmackDown that I hope that eventually a documentary comes out for Bray Wyatt. We get to see a little bit more behind the scenes stuff, but I also hope that it like his full potential in the gimmick we didn't end up seeing the full fruition on gets completely revealed in that documentary on where they were going to go. You know,
Appreciate it, Star
I
Man.
think that it'd be really nice for the fans. I think it'd be really nice for everybody that loved him to kind of see where they were going to go. So there still might be a chance that we might get to find that out. So don't rule it out, man.
That's the thing. Like for me, I'm very curious as well to see like what would have happened because
I want a documentary so bad.
I felt like, you know, the second run for him, it was like WWE didn't really know what to do with them. Like the return was fantastic. Like I think that was one of the greatest wrestling returns in like all time.
Oh,
And I
for
just
sure.
think that creative, like I said, I think on, you know, other extras in the podcast, Bray Wyatt was one of the most creative individuals in wrestling history. And
sure.
when you have somebody that's so creative like him, it's so hard to understand his vision. It's so hard to, you know, make what's in his head come to life.
Yeah, I just I feel like people just I feel like people just don't quite understand what Bray Wyatt was trying to do. And I feel like WWE and Vince McMahon, they didn't understand, so they didn't.
But they were letting him run with it. So I mean, you know,
they have given him a lot of opportunities, though.
They did,
very
and
true.
It's again, you know, to reiterate with Angelo's fucking John Elite's comment, you know, it is unfortunate we never got to see his current gimmick in full potential. You know, we'll never understand what the Wyatt 6 were about, but like I said, I hope a documentary comes out, you know, celebrating his life, and hopefully we get to put the bow on it finally and figure out at least where we were gonna go, because it'd just be nice so at least all of us can get the closure and not have to wonder, you know.
Bray Wyatt, in my opinion, easily first-class Hall of Famer.
People are
I hope
saying
WWE inducts him into the Hall of Fame.
People want him inducted
2024
year.
And I can see it happening.
It sucks that he's not going to be there, but I would have
JoJo's going to fucking induct him more than likely, along with Eric Rowan and fucking Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Same, even probably Bo Dallas too.
Oh, and Bo Dallas. Yeah, sorry, and Alexa Bliss will probably make a speech.
Man, absolutely wild. But you know, before we get into, you know, our favorite moments and stuff, we do have, you know, a couple video messages sent from, you know, a few We Are Wrestling, you know, maniacs that help us, you know, make, you know, some videos. Some of these guys have appeared, you know, on, you know, the podcast before. Some of them have appeared in, you know, our live watch-alongs that we do for the pay-per-views. And they wanted to get their message out, and I have the privilege to show you guys what, you know, these guys said. So hope you guys, you know, enjoy.
Rest in power, Bray Wyatt. You were beyond special. You had that thing that most wrestlers dream to have. There are very few supernatural gimmicks that work in wrestling. There are very few characters like that really just hit the mark every time, and you were one of them. You had the most creative mind for wrestling of this generation, absolutely, no question. I just wish we could still see what you had in your mind and what you could have done. To his family and friends and fellow brothers of the ring, my condolences. Being a part of wrestling, it is a brotherhood. There is an unwritten bond between workers, be it the person who cleans the ring announcer, the bell keeper, the timekeeper, like to the boys in the back and the girls in the back. It's a family, and we're all hurting right now. Rest in power, Bray. We'll never forget you.
Bray Wyatt was a once-in-a-lifetime wrestler.
Ricky
gave me Sting and Undertaker vibes.
Ricky, guys.
Good old Ricky.
Had one of the most popular gimmicks in arguably all of WWE wrestling, arguably top 10 gimmicks of all time with The Fiend. Called himself the Eater of Worlds. Was the leader of the Wyatt family. He was also a former WWE champion. winning his first championship in the 2017 Elimination Chamber event. And then became a 2-time Universal Champion and a Tag Team Champion. Bray Wyatt was just a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. He had his own style, very witty, very unorthodox, and very unpredictable. And there will never be nobody like Bray Wyatt in professional wrestling ever. I want to say a long time, but I'll be lying to myself if I said a long time. There will never be another Bray Wyatt in professional wrestling. And whoever says that, it is an extremely unprofessional wrestling fan.
Let him know, Ricky. Let him know.
Lay the smack it down on them
But
fucking
my
candy
condolences
asses.
go out to Bray Wyatt and the family. We lost a good one. We've been losing too many. We can't lose anymore, man. But rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. My condolences. Shout out to Donnie. We are wrestling. Peace.
What is up? We are wrestling maniacs.
Ben's favorite.
It's the OG Cam the Ham 24.
Cam the Ham 24, Ben, your favorite.
I'll make it short and sweet because I know these videos have to be short so I can send them. But yesterday we learned someone passed away.
My guy, why are you whispering?
WWE superstar, and they went under Bray Wyatt.
Whispering guy.
Which Don made me.
Man, Ricky was louder than him this time.
Ricky was laying upside down.
What my favorite Bray Wyatt moment was.
Hey, he was doing his Bray Wyatt impression, man.
He made so many favorable moments. He made the Firefly Funhouse. He made the Wyatt family one of the most deadliest factions in WWE.
I can't hear what he's
saying.
I can't hear what the fuck he's saying either, but it's all good.
That I love.
Yeah, there's no way of hiring this up.
He made so many incredible matches.
I'm trying to appreciate his tribute, but it is so fucking hard to even hear it. Try it so hard.
Glow in the dark match.
Townies, where's the subtitles on this bitch?
He made so many memorable matches.
Danny's dying. Danny's dying.
I don't know
He's
where
tapping.
the superstars would be right now.
You should have used the captions app.
In 2017.
I don't even think the captions app would be able to fucking hear him, but you know what? I agree with everything you just said, Cam.
I think that was my favorite moment that he did because he deserved the title. He finally got his title. Unfortunately, that title.
You should have seen how low it was editing this.
One of my favorite things about this segment right now is the fact that he said that it had to be short and sweet, but here he is just going. This is the longest one so fucking far.
That's Cam the Ham.
Because I don't think they held the
I love it.
championships or any other title, but I'm glad he got the most prestigious title in WWE.
Cam, man, thanks for keeping it short and sweet. Thanks for the tribute, and I agree with everything you just said.
So
I'll rewatch it 30 more times.
So, those were some of the We Are Wrestling extras. They appear, on the channel here and there, whether it's the vlogs or, the live watch-alongs. Phil, he's been a part of Old School versus New School for a couple episodes.
Phil's the man.
And they wanted to get their messages out there. I'm very surprised that Ricky was louder than Cam. That's the part that surprises me the most.
Kevin, it's not a thought. It's a guarantee. I 100% agree with you.
Oh, 100%.
100%, dude. If anybody premeditatedly, very prematurely rather, not premeditatedly, Jesus, this isn't murder. If anybody needs to prematurely be put into the Hall of Fame, it's Bray Wyatt, because he was a gift that just kept on giving. So I just, he would have gone to the mountains forever. So I just, yeah, man, this is really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate.
So now I want to dive into, some of Bray Wyatt's, best storylines, some of his best rivalries through the years, because of course we've seen, his feud with John Cena going into, WrestleMania 30.
Thanks,
we also got to see him feud with Randy Orton a few times, even for the WWE Championship back in 2017. Also, we got Finn Balor versus,
Husky
Bray
Harris
Wyatt
was pretty bad though, Angelo. Keep that in mind. Sorry, I was reading the comment.
Yeah, no, Husky Harris, man. Believe it or not, Cody Rhodes was the pro for him.
He was, and that's why I think, man.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Angelo,
I'm
for cutting me off.
sorry.
But,
Continue.
but man, Bray Wyatt has had so many like unforgettable rivalries through the years. Which one was your favorite that stood out to you the most?
So I'm not gonna go with a rivalry. I'm gonna go with the favorite moment. One of my favorite moments, and this is gonna sound so cliche, but it really is, because I remember just how excited I was in that moment, and what it meant for the future, or what we thought it meant for the future. Was definitely his return.
Absolutely, man. That was one of the best returns in like professional wrestling history. I'm not even talking about just in, 2022. I'm talking about in wrestling history. That was one of the best produced returns of all time.
Dude, all of it was beautiful. The way that they played it out and the way that it was able to be built up through the weeks, and then just how nuanced.
We got Phil in here.
Hey, what's going on, Phil? But yeah, no, like the whole way that it was just presented was beautiful. The way that they really drew it all out, having each member of the Wyatt Six there in different parts of the crowd. Bray eventually coming out through the same door that Brody Lee came out of to pay tribute to him was just beautiful. And they recreated it almost to the T, top notch, man. Like, kudos to everybody in wrestling for that night. And it felt special. It felt like a welcome, like a homecoming. It felt like something that was going to be larger than life. And we got to see just the cracks in the surface, and we never even got to see like anything yet. And I hope we eventually get that closure one day.
What about you, Danny? What's one of your, favorite storylines of Bray Wyatt that really stood out to you?
Well, one of my favorite gimmicks that Bray Wyatt was the Eater of Worlds, obviously. That's like,
that's his top gimmick, bro.
Just everything from his promo work to, just like the dark gothic kind of storylines or whatever that he partake in. I'm one of the very few people that actually liked the what was it, the horror match, whatever, with him and Randy Orton.
I loved it.
The House of Horror match.
I loved it. And the promos for that were pretty fire.
Everybody seems to fucking trash that match. I actually really enjoyed it. I feel like cinematic matches worked for a character like Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean? He was never one of those characters that, could just, be satisfied just having a regular one-on-one match. You know what I mean? That's just never been Bray Wyatt's style. But I loved, and I've talked about it numerous times on the channel, I love the storyline between him and John Cena. And somebody actually commented on the watch along tonight to SmackDown about when John Cena was standing in the middle of the ring in the cage, and all the children were surrounding the ring wearing the sheep masks.
That was one of the best segments.
You could hear all of them, all the whole world in his hands. It just, that creeped me the fuck out.
And the sheep masks too, man, with all the kids wearing them, and then you had the one kid sitting on his lap. That was creepy.
I think another underrated pairing, and it just I loved it because it was so unorthodox, and it brought almost like a different side of Bray Wyatt out, and it really kind of brought out the best in both these guys. Was him and Matt Hardy when they won the titles. Yeah. I loved it. I loved that pairing, dude. Like, Matt was completely
the ultimate deletion
unhinged.
Match.
Dude,
that main evented Raw. That was so cool because in Impact Wrestling,
it was so different.
Matt Hardy did these, ultimate deletion matches on Impact all the time, and we never thought that we would get that type of match on a bigger stage like WWE.
And so look at what happened.
Really cool.
You know what I just found out?
What up?
That's a great.
His lantern that he used during that match and his glove he gave them to one of Matt Hardy's kids.
Fuck yeah. I love that.
Awesome.
They were really close. Him and Matt. Oh my god. You should.
But I do want to share, my favorite, storyline.
Yeah, do it up.
And for me, it's, a toss up between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt and John Cena, because I remember him feuding with John Cena when he first, came onto the main roster. And the way that they brought Bray Wyatt to Raw, that is how you need to be bringing up developmental guys these days. Vignettes are forgotten. Like, you had these vignettes building up for, I think, like 4 weeks. You had Bray Wyatt, have a vignette. And then the next vignette, he introduced Luke Harper, known as Brody Lee.
Brody Lee.
And
Rest his
then,
fucking
the
soul,
next
man.
week, he introduced Eric Rowan. And then there you go. You have the Wyatt family.
Boom.
And I love the feud that they started off with him and Kane. But the one that really stood out would have to be John Cena, because I feel like that really opened the door for Bray Wyatt to, build this Firefly fan base. Because I feel like the crowd got behind him.
I am so fucking mad about all the people he never ended up facing. Like, we never got the possibility of him and Edge. We never got the possibility of, another him and Drew McIntyre. We never got another go at Roman Reigns. We never got to see him and Karrion Kross. There's a lot of people that I regret he never shared the ring with.
Dude, the Wyatt family and the Shield. That was a great.
That was fucking phenomenal, bro. Phenomenal. Like, I could go on and on and on, man.
When
I love
when
Bray
they
Wyatt so
opened
fucking
that
much.
door with the Shield and the Wyatt family, that's something I never thought they would do. Because the Shield obviously came into WWE as heels, just like the Wyatt family. And then eventually the Shield, turned face. And man, when that happened, when both of those worlds collide, that was great.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it's just, this whole thing is just a devastating loss to the entire wrestling community. The whole just, it's echoing. You got people on the other shows as well.
I think AEW is the first, like, even before WWE, AEW posted a in memory graphic, I believe.
Impact Wrestling did as well, and all the
man.
wrestling promotions out there did, which was a class act. Definitely.
Yeah, man. You know that he touched the scope of every, like I said, the entire industry.
That's a good one right there.
Bray
Wyatt and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Because around that time, Daniel Bryan, Wyatt was trying to get him a part of the Wyatt family, and then he even came out in like the jumpsuit. And then I remember being like in the cage, and then Daniel Bryan hits Bray Wyatt, with his kick, and the crowd went nuts. And that really pushed the S movement.
It's good storytelling.
And that's the thing about Bray Wyatt, which is what I liked about the Eater of Worlds character more than anything.
He could work with anybody.
Exactly. He could work with anybody. The problem was WWE Creative weren't letting him win these feuds. And if he, got put over in a couple of them, like Kane put him over, that was great. But then, like, after losing to John Cena at WrestleMania, and then losing at Payback, and then losing back and forth, like
losing to Goldberg in Saudi Arabia.
That shit was bullshit. That was bullshit. Like, don't even no. Yeah, that's a can of worms we're not going to open. But
I feel like
Rollins doing like 18 friggin' curve stomps to him in a Hell in a Cell that
that shit was fucking awesome.
That
shit was fucking awesome. I don't care.
I feel like WWE knew what they had in somebody like Bray Wyatt, but I also feel like they don't. They didn't. They
had no idea
what to do with him. That dude should have been like on the top of the fucking mountain.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the whole thing is just super unfortunate, and I hate that we're here. I genuinely hate it.
I really hate it too. But man, he accomplished a lot of things, in his WWE career.
For what it was worth,
the WWE Championship. He won the Universal Championship. Also won the tag titles with Matt Hardy. And he's had a great career in, WWE, despite, the lack of, creative and not knowing what to do with him a lot of the times. He still was able to carve out, a great career.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just a very unfortunate thing.
The thing I look forward to the most through this tragedy is the day that we hear on commentary something along the lines of, we haven't seen something like this since Bray Wyatt.
100%. 100%.
Because at that point, Bray did what he wanted. He kept creating.
Yep.
And that's the thing, about Bray Wyatt, man. One of the most, creative minds in this sport. There's nobody like him. And it's just sad that, it's like WWE, they didn't know what to do with him. His first run took too many L's. He comes back as the Fiend. They overexpose
Takes
it.
too many dubs.
And then they just didn't know what to do. And then they would give him L's against guys like Goldberg.
Yeah, no.
That is absolutely wild to me.
I kind of wish we could have saw what Bray Wyatt would have done in like Impact or AEW. You know what I mean? Impact for the amount of talent that's there. And they seem a little bit more into the whole cinematic matches because of
my man and his AEW.
That would have been a perfect fit.
My man. My man and his AE dubs.
But also,
could
you imagine Bray Wyatt versus Malachi Black, Bray Wyatt versus Brody King, Bray Wyatt versus Buddy Matthews? Like, just all the matches that we could have gotten.
Alexa Bliss said that the most fun she had in her career was being paired up with Bray Wyatt.
Because you just got the key to creative right there, and he's a fun fucking dude to be around, apparently. So, I mean, it was a
nothing but positive things have, come out from all these wrestlers.
Seriously, nobody ever had beef with Bray Wyatt. The dude was just naturally invited to the cookout. Like, the dude is incredible. Like, he's just absolutely was a star-class athlete, a great, person. We took an L. We took a massive L in the wrestling universe. Hell yeah, dude! Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho inside Hell in a Cell. That shit, Steel Cage rather. Yeah, no, that shit was fucking delicious.
It's gonna be very hard for us to recover from this, and by us, I mean the pro wrestling world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this, it's been a long time since a massive.
Well, he talks about it all the fucking time, Tyrone. It's like you can't go fucking one show without fucking promoting Tony Khan. You can't go one fucking show without it. Of course I'm gonna be rolling my fucking eyes. AEW's anywhere.
I think for Bray Wyatt though, AEW isn't the best fit for him. Like if I wanted to see Bray Wyatt outside of WWE, it's gonna be Impact Wrestling because look what happened with Matt Hardy during that.
Bro, you know what? Honestly, Noah, neither of you motherfuckers watch anime, so I don't understand. I get why you wouldn't understand this, but no, another place he would have thrived would have been fucking New Japan. He would have thrived there, especially for their theatrics and the envelope that they push and the stories he wanted to tell. Yeah, he would have been a fucking phenomenal fit for New Japan.
Here we go, Phil. AEW wouldn't have met him thrive as much as he needed to. AEW may give creative freedom, but when they can run more than one storyline at once and have 127.4 belts, he needs more than Magic.
Thank you. That is a realist talking right now.
I'm not necessarily when I'm saying that, I'm not saying about storyline wise. I'm just saying there's a lot of talent signed to
but he would have been I'm sorry to say this, but he would have been
Thank you, Phil. New Japan equals Shogun Wyatt. Thank you, Phil. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. See, yeah, you motherfuckers don't watch anime, so you have no idea the creative mind of Wyatt could do in Japan.
Yeah, but
that shit would have been fucking
nuts. You can't also erase Impact Wrestling out of the equation either.
I'm doing it right now.
He would have had a lot of eyes on Impact Wrestling.
No, he would have had a lot of highs in TNA against the likes of fucking Abyss, bro. No, I don't care. New Japan? Yes. Give me all of that New Japan creative with Bray Wyatt. I would lose my fucking mind. For that.
But I'm just saying with AEW, he would have been, unfortunately, in the same funk as a lot of other guys that are struggling right now to get TV time.
No, I have no problem in my mind that he would do great in Impact and that he would have definitely gotten a lot of eyes on Impact because of that. But at the same time, if we're talking about furthering his career and really letting him tell a solid story with just the right amount of things he would need outside of WWE with more of an envelope to push, my God, dude.
Yeah.
My God, dude. I would goosebumps thinking about it.
New Japan's doing so good, half their roster appears on AEW every week, so.
Shut the fuck. Oh my God. See, this is what I'm talking about. That is why I was rolling my fucking eyes, by the way. Tyrone, whoever the fuck said that out. Yeah, Tyrone, yeah. Bro, 100%. Yeah, that's why I kept rolling my eyes. No matter what, somebody could literally pass away, and it's still AEW. It's still AEW.
You know,
so yeah, no, that's why I was rolling
Tyrone
my
is
eyes.
still on here, and he's listening to this. I think he's starting to become a We Are Wrestling maniac. Slowly
my
but surely.
God.
Who, Tyrone?
He talks about how he doesn't like wrestling, but
He
here
likes
he is,
us, bro.
just
he
like
likes
the
us, bro.
just like the watch along, man.
He came down to chill for a little bit. It was hype as fuck downstairs, and he had a couple drinks. So
Hey, come on,
he was chilling. He wanted to be a part of the
don't
vibes.
discredit me,
bro. When
I'm not
alcohol's
discrediting you.
involved,
I'm
can
just
make
adding on
somebody
top
like
of it.
anything.
I refuse to believe my homie's not becoming a maniac.
Well, I don't know about a maniac, but
Nah, I got you, bro.
If alcohol is involved, you can make somebody like anything.
Yeah, I got you. No, you kind of right there. I mean, if I was, if I was like 12 in the bag and you said, "Hey, let's go watch Barbie," I would probably lose my mind. I'd be like, "Dude, this is fucking awesome." I'd be like, "Are we living this right now?" No, 100% though. Massive loss, and I don't know where we go now in terms of like creative genius. You know, there's nobody like Bray Wyatt. There's nobody out there
there's never
that
going to
really
be somebody
tells.
like Bray Wyatt in this business, and that's
And
what made him so captivating. That's what made him so unique in this business. And that's why I say he's one of the most creative minds. And he reminded me so much of Raven. If you go back and watch a lot of Raven's old stuff, because Raven, he had lack of creative as well, because a lot of people didn't understand his vision and his mind. We got to see, the best of Raven, during ECW. And that really does leave like the biggest what if question with Bray Wyatt, because his entire pro wrestling career, he didn't start off in the indies. He started off in WWE developmental.
Yeah.
So he was full blown a WWE guy, because even when he left back in, the whole budget cut thing in 2020, he didn't go to any other promotion. He took time away, and then, he did come back to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be, I feel like, one of the biggest what ifs, that, pro wrestling fans, and including us, we're going to be thinking about, for years to come.
Yeah, bro. All right, boys. Well, for me, it was a great show. I got to head out of here now. Got to be up in the morning. But I hope you guys have a good rest of the live. Again, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Thoughts and condolences are with his family, friends, and fans all around the world. It was a devastating loss, and hopefully we're all able to heal together, and his legacy lives on, and his name echoes through the halls of wrestling for eternity. So, guys, have a good night.
Have a good night. You
Take
as
it easy,
well.
brother.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy, boys.
And now there is just two.
No, there's just two, bro.
But now, I do want to, dive into some of Bray Wyatt's matches through, his time in WWE, because I feel like a lot of us, we overlook that because of how, talented, he was with his character work and, the vignettes that he would cut. So a lot of us, I feel like we don't look at, his in-ring work, because I felt like he was one of those, solid wrestlers. He told a story in the ring, something that a lot of wrestlers these days we don't really see happen, because a lot of them, want to just, jump off the ropes, do, cartwheels, front flips, back flips, and shooting star presses.
Yeah.
What would be some of the matches that stand out to you?
Oh God, man. Like I said, the match with Cena, that storyline, man, just I don't know, just everything I wanted from a storyline, that storyline pretty much gave me. I love sort of like the mystery behind it all. I love like, sort of like gothic cinematics and stuff like that, and very dark,
Dude, the video package using Eminem song Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic.
It's fantastic. I don't know, man. The thing about it is, obviously, I fell off of wrestling for quite a while at one point, and I didn't start watching religiously like every week until I started making content for it. And by that time, I think Bray Wyatt had already gotten released. I don't think he was in WWE anymore, because I remember he got released around the pandemic era, like a little bit after the pandemic started.
I think it was the second budget cut, I believe.
Yeah. I remember that day
because he wrestled in the Thunderdome era for a little bit.
Yeah. But this is just like a lot of Bray Wyatt matches that escaped me because I wasn't watching like on a week to week basis or whatever. Like I remember his match with Orton at WrestleMania. He popped up out of that fucking like the big ass box or something like that. That was
as the Burnt Fiend.
That was, that is. I wasn't a huge fan of the Fiend, but I was a huge fan of the way that character looked, like when he was like all burnt and like he came from the depths of hell, and he looked like a monster, that you pretty much have nightmares about when you're a kid.
And that's the thing. I loved his first feud with Randy Orton going back to 2017 because Bray Wyatt, recruited Randy Orton and the Wyatt family. He had a tag team title run with Luke Harper. And then, going into Elimination Chamber, Bray Wyatt pulls, one of the biggest upsets, wins his first ever WWE championship. And then, Randy Orton, burns down, his compound. And then we get that match at WrestleMania, which, man, I feel like they should have had Bray Wyatt retain his championship. I felt like that title run was way too short for its time.
One of my favorite promos that Bray Wyatt cut was, can't remember the context, but he was talking about like his school teacher and how he thought his school teacher was, smarter than everybody else. And, he was pretty much like in a way trying to prove her wrong. You know what I mean? That was obviously when he was like the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, but just like there's something compelling. Like I'm obviously like I'm a big horror movie
fan. Good night, Alex.
I love horror movies. And just like that backwoods, like, sort of hillbilly, cult leader character or whatever, like that. There's just something about it that I love just because I'm a huge fan of horror movies and stuff like that. And that's like a character like straight out of a horror movie, like in real life. You know what I mean? And I feel like that character wouldn't have worked if it wasn't Bray Wyatt, just because like he had the voice, he had the accent, he had the mannerisms, he was just the total package. He was just a total package when it comes to a character like that.
And that's the thing, like, I wish a lot of these new school wrestlers that are, trying to become pro wrestlers would take notes from guys like Bray Wyatt and MJF and, go a different path. Why do you gotta, follow the sheep? Mm-hmm. Why do you have to do that? Like, you have to stand out on your own. And I think that's something that a lot of independent wrestlers, they struggle with. And I'm like, at the independent wrestling shows, I see, so much potential in a lot of these, guys and girls, but they're just not standing out. Just because you do like a backflip off, the rope and you get a holy shit chant doesn't really mean anything. And that's why I love Bray Wyatt so much, because he relied on his character work and, his storytelling, most importantly, in the ring, always was there telling a story. And that's what made you so captivated to him. And there's a reason why he has such a strong Firefly fan base.
Yeah. There's no fan base in pro wrestling like the Fireflies. Like, they're behind that guy 120%,
Through it all, man. And I know firsthand. But, getting into, some of my favorite matches with Bray Wyatt, I actually really enjoyed his SummerSlam match against Kane back in 2013, the Inferno match. That was pretty cool because it felt like an Attitude Era match. And that was when Bray Wyatt, that was like his first, feud on the main roster. And then, going against a guy like Kane really, brought the monster out in him as that cult leader. And it was just fantastic. Now, another match that I really did enjoy as well, man, I gotta say, the Shield versus the Wyatt family, that was fantastic. That was a match I feel like none of us were expecting ever.
Yeah. I remember that feud. The Shield and the Wyatt family, they came up around the same time, didn't they? I
They
think
did, yeah.
Shield
Shield
came up.
came in 2012 Survivor Series, and towards SummerSlam 2013, that's when the Wyatt family came.
Yep. So they started around the same time, man, and having two powerhouse groups like that, come up around the same time, man. You know, I feel like WWE really lucked out, but I feel like they didn't push them as far as they should have. I feel like there's so much more they could have done with the Wyatt family. They just never wanted to pull the trigger because they were maybe they didn't see the creative behind it.
I
Maybe
don't
they
think they
didn't.
I don't think they seen the vision that Bray had, but Angelo said this. Bray versus Daniel Bryan in the strap match, Bray versus Roman, Hell in the Cell, and Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in the Firefly Fun House match are some of my favorite matches of Bray's career.
The Firefly Funhouse match is no secret how I feel about that match. I didn't see the point. I actually ended up falling asleep during it. Like, that was one of the most pointless, idiotic matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that really love that match or really hated that match. And for me, I didn't really enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I actually really liked the Boneyard match a lot more with Undertaker and AJ Styles than I did, the Firefly Funhouse match. The storytelling was great. You did get some pretty, funny moments having John Cena come out with the NWO shirt and then Vince Puppet. That's such good shit. There was like really cool things in it, but I don't know. For me, it just didn't really make sense that much.
I just didn't see the point. And like, John Cena is one of those guys, like, obviously, like, you had to do something to make it entertaining because it was during the pandemic. There was nobody in the performance center when they were doing it, so it was all they actually taped WrestleMania a couple of days and then just threw it pre-recorded on the network, so it wasn't live that year. There was just a lot of things going against WWE. They were the only entertainment, source of entertainment, pretty much, because every other sports organization, I think, pretty much shut their doors because of the pandemic. And WWE, they
They're the
found a
first
way to
one to
stay
do
open.
something like a
So,
Thunderdome, and then
yeah,
NBA, they did the lockdown.
yeah, but they
But
always.
now, before we close off, this, tribute extra to, Bray Wyatt, I got to ask you, man, if there's one wrestler you would love to see Bray Wyatt, wrestle or feud with, who would it be? Opening up fantasy booking. It could be past, it could be future, it could be present.
It's a hard question, man. Probably Raven. Like, if we could go back and have like primetime Raven and primetime Bray Wyatt from like maybe like ECW back in the day, they would have been able to do some fire stuff.
That would have been, man. But for me, I'm going to have to go with either Crow Sting or Undertaker. I feel like an Undertaker feud from like 1998 or even the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker. You could have done something really cool there with Bray
That was
Wyatt.
98, 99. That was the Ministry of Darkness Taker. And then he came out in 2000. He debuted the American Badass.
Man, I feel like that would have been really cool. And I know WWE, they tried to do the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt feud. And unfortunately, Taker was, not really healthy around the time. He did, have to get a lot of surgeries done around this time. He wasn't at his best. And Bray Wyatt, the booking during this time, they weren't really booking him properly. So it was, an unfortunate thing. But man, I would have loved to see, Bray Wyatt in a feud with, either Ministry Undertaker or Crow Sting. I feel like that would have been really freaking cool. Imagine the video packages and the storytelling in that.
That would have been fire, man. Like, I just feel like there's a time and place for everything. And if this was, 15 years earlier, having Bray Wyatt go, face the Undertaker or whatever, even when he came back as, the gothic Undertaker or whatever, like around 2004, 2005.
2004, he came back as the
When he
Dead
came
Man.
back. Like, even if you did it around there, it would have been insane. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think that this character for Bray Wyatt was too good for its time. I think that if this was Ruthless Aggression, I think that he would have been easily a main event guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he would have been carrying that world championship, feuding with The Undertaker for years.
Bray Wyatt is just, a once in a lifetime talent, and we're never going to see anything like him ever again.
We're never going to. And like, we said in the beginning of, this tribute live stream, we do, want to send our love. We do want to send our condolences, to all the fans that are going through this right now. We're going through it right now with you. We want to send our condolences, to all of Bray Wyatt's, family in WWE and, all the guys and girls that he worked with throughout the years. And most importantly, we want to send our love and condolences to, his brother Bo Dallas, his sister, his father, and, his wife JoJo, and, his beautiful children.
Yeah, man. Like, if we're feeling it like this, I can't imagine how they feel. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. And one thing that, we are wrestling, and one thing that I do want to, also bring up as well, respect his loved one's privacy during this time too.
Yeah.
Don't be blowing up JoJo's Instagram. Don't be blowing up, the family. Let them, have time to grieve. Let them, take a deep breath without, going down their throats.
Yeah, man. It's just a sad situation that nobody expected, but you gotta expect the unexpected sometimes. And
That's life, man.
I don't know how anybody could possibly make this better. It's gonna take a long time. You know what I mean? Like, we've lost way too many people way too young. You know what I mean? This has a lot of resemblance to Eddie Guerrero. Back when he passed away. I remember that, man, and I remember breaking down when they played that video package on Raw. When they did the 10-bell salute. And it was just such a devastating situation, man. And it seems like all these years later, man, we're right back where we fucking started, man. It never seems to get easier, And I've said this before, and I want to say it here. It's weird how you can know somebody without knowing them. Like, we were not close to Bray Wyatt. We didn't have his cell phone number. We didn't go out to bars. We didn't, we weren't close at all. I never met the guy. You met him once. But, like, it's weird that we have such a connection with him, even though we don't know him. It's like, it's almost like, losing a family member in a weird way.
Well, that's the thing, man. These characters that we watch every week on television are larger than life, and we get connected to them because we're watching them every single week. And Bray Wyatt was one of those guys that a lot of people connected to because he was one of us. And there were so many fireflies that, even said that Bray Wyatt saved their life, which is, very strong.
Yeah.
For somebody to, have that impact on somebody. And he's just such an incredible human being. And I do want to share, my meet and greet experience with him before, we close off this, tribute video.
Good way to end it.
Right. So I went to a WWE live event back in March of 2017. And it was a VIP experience. So with the WWE VIP experiences, you get to meet 3 random WWE superstars. You don't know who they are beforehand, which I feel like I don't really like that looking back now. But man, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to meet Bray Wyatt himself during his WWE Championship run. This was one of the live events, the Road to WrestleMania. And the first thing Bray Wyatt did, and this made me respect him not only as a human being, but just as a person. And that was, introducing, his buddy Stevie, who, was sick. The kid, he was a young kid. He was sick. And, before Bray Wyatt, did anything, he acknowledged this kid. And the biggest smile on this kid's face, that's what made this experience so, like, unforgettable for me. And it really has a special place in my heart. Well, I'll share it while Danny's doing that. So with, my meet and greet experience, like seeing, him honor, his buddy Stevie, that just really, really touched my heart a lot. And he made all of us in that room, I think there was like maybe 12 or 15 of us, feel very important. And, during that meet and greet experience is something that, I'll always cherish forever. Something that, I really have to, love and respect from, Bray Wyatt himself. One of the best, in my opinion. And just even seeing, the videos, of kids meeting him and other people getting the opportunities to meet him. He is one of the most realest people you can meet. And I was fortunate enough to get that opportunity.
Yeah, man. I unfortunately never got the opportunity to meet him, and it's something that I'm gonna have to live with. And but Bray Wyatt is just out of everybody, like going through social media and just seeing all the posts about him, like I haven't heard one negative thing anybody has ever said about him, and it just it shows the kind of person that he was. He wasn't. I mean, the dude had every right to have an ego the size of Egypt. You know what I mean? Just because of how good and how creative he is, and he was on top of the world in a lot of ways within WWE. But Miro told an interesting story. He posted a video on social media about it, and he was talking about when he was at the Performance Center around 2010 for the first time, and it was one of the WWE tryouts. Before it was NXT, it was FCW. And I believe Taker was there, Triple H was there, and somebody else was there, maybe Bruce Pritchard or somebody. But Wyatt at the time, who was Husky Harris, wanted to try out some moves, and he picked Miro out of the crowd, and he was doing the like running into the ropes and doing like the cannonball, and Miro talked about that experience, and he was there for maybe an hour or whatever, and then he I guess they didn't like his tryout or whatever, so he left, went to the Independents, and then went back like 2-3 years later, and he saw Wyatt in catering, and Wyatt remembered him, like, hey, I remember you from the tryout, like, and Wyatt was just a one in a lifetime like human being, not just performer, but he cared and loved people. You know what I mean?
Hey,
That's
I'll
what
tell
people
you,
seem to
I'll tell you
remember
something
most.
too before we close this off. So I did read a story as well that during, his run in NXT, he had jury duty. And
I read this too.
he stayed in character during his jury duty. That is old school right there, man. Gotta love Bray Wyatt so much, man. But
The
we want to
sad
send our
situation,
love. We want
man.
to send our condolences, to everybody in the wrestling, community affected by this, his loved ones, his family during this time. And I hope you guys enjoyed, this tribute. We wanted to honor Bray Wyatt and, talk about some of our favorite moments. And I'm glad that, some of you We Are Wrestling Maniacs joined the live stream and, also commented some of your favorite moments and, really, tagged along with us and got to really have, some pretty cool conversations and, get to honor the legacy of, Windham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. So it's getting a little late. I know people that are, watching this, live right now, the 6 of you, yeah, you guys are definitely tired because, we watched SmackDown. It was a sad, episode honoring, Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. And, we, pretty much talked for an hour honoring this man. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. We have a new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast coming out tomorrow on, the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. And if you're on the go like myself, you can listen to it, on Apple Podcast or Spotify or anywhere you listen to your podcast. That will be coming out tomorrow. And Sunday, of course, we have the AEW All In watch along, and we're all going to be in person watching it together. So nobody's going to be 5 or 10 seconds.
I will be at your house at 11 o'clock in the morning, man.
That is right, man. And All In is going to be the biggest pay-per-view in AEW company history. This is pretty much their WrestleMania 1. So we're going to be watching it live. Ben is popping his cherry, his AEW cherry, and we're going to see if he actually enjoys it or not. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, Windham Rotunda, and, rest in peace to Terry Funk as well. Yeah. We Are Wrestling. We love each and every one of you guys. And we're taking over. Peace.